All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Oldham County Fiscal Court. I'm David Vogel, Judge Executive. We're happy to have you here today for our first meeting in December, the 5th of December, a nice day in LaGrange. If you have a cell phone with you, we ask you to turn it to off or vibrate. If you're able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
History rather than just a
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tara. I'm going to check the microphone. Can you hear back in the back of the room okay? All right. All right, great. Our clerk is Tara Long. I'll ask her to call, please. Call the roll.
Magistrate Tice.
Present.
Magistrate Woosley.
Here.
Magistrate Jeffries.
Here.
Magistrate Hounds.
Here.
Magistrate Hawkins. Here. Magistrate Dye.
Present.
Judge Vogel.
Here. Having 8 of the 9 members of, seven of the 9 members present, this meeting is now in session. We're missing Magistrate Logston and Magistrate Likens today.
The bookends.
The bookends are not here.
Right, we don't know what happened to them. Is there a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Are there any additions or deletions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now, Tara will read the minutes from our last meeting, which was on December 21st.
November 21st, 2023. The Oldham County Fiscal Court convened at 2:02 p.m. with Judge Vogel, County Attorney Barry Baxter, and the following magistrates in attendance: Likens, Tice, Woosley, Jeffries, Hounds, Hawkins, Dye, and Logston. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Likens to approve the agenda as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Tice and seconded by Magistrate Jeffries to approve the minutes from the November 7th meeting with the correct vote, 7-1, noted on page 527 for the Ambulance Taxing District Board appointment. Motion carried unanimously. Public comment. Amy Alvey, County Clerk, provided information regarding changes to the County Clerk's computer system and their office hours in December and January. Judge Vogel announced that Magistrate Hawkins participated in UK's College of Engineering's Rhodes Scholar and Rhodes Master training and completed her certification. Bid opening. The following bid for sand and gravel removal was opened and read. Nugent Sand Company of Louisville, Kentucky, 3 cents per ton of sand after annual minimum is met. 4 cents per ton of gravel after annual minimum is met. Annual minimum of $3,000. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Jeffries to award Nugent Sand the bid for sand and gravel removal from vacant and unappropriated lands as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Woosley to approve the payment of the payables as submitted. Discussion followed. Motion carried unanimously. RCS Maintenance Service Agreement for VHF Paging System. Motion made by Magistrate Jeffries and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to authorize Judge Vogel to sign the RCS Maintenance Service Agreement for VHF's Paging System as submitted. Discussion followed. Motion carried unanimously. Personnel actions. Road Department. Motion made by Magistrate Woosley and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to hire Kenny Hetzman as Equipment Operator 1 at $18 an hour effective November 22nd. Motion carried unanimously. Dispatch. Motion made by Magistrate Woosley and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to promote Amberly Green to Assistant Director at $70,000 a year effective November 22nd. Motion carried unanimously. Judge Vogel announced the resignation of Maggie Mollick effective November 21st. Police. Judge Vogel announced the resignation of Aaron Eden effective November 24th. Maintenance. Motion made by Magistrate Woosley and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to hire Marvin Yance as Maintenance 1 at $25 an hour effective November 22nd. Motion carried unanimously. There was no public comment. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Woosley to enter closed session pursuant KRS 61.810B, deliberations on the future acquisition or sale of real property by a public agency with the addition of the following people: County Attorney Barry Baxter, Deputy Judge Kevin Nuss, and CFO Stan Clark. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Dye to come out of closed session. Motion carried unanimously. Announcements were made. Motion made by Magistrate Jeffries and seconded by Magistrate Woosley to re-enter closed session pursuant KRS 61.810B, deliberations on the future acquisition or sale of property by a public agency with the addition of the following people: County Attorney Barry Baxter, Deputy Judge Kevin Nuss, and CFO Stan Clark. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Logsdon to come out of closed session. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Woosley and seconded by Magistrate Likens to approve the purchase of certain real property consistent with the terms and conditions of the contract for an amended price of $2.8 million and for the closing to occur on the tentative date of November 29th, with the location to be disclosed after closing. Motion carried 6-3. Magistrates Dye, Hawkins, and Tice voted no. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Jeffries to adjourn the meeting. Motion carried unanimously, and the meeting adjourned at 4:03 p.m.
You've heard the reading of our minutes from November 21st. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Believe, we mentioned here in the minutes that we did go forward at the last meeting to buy a piece of property. We expect to close on that property this week. It is no longer, it's been publicly announced that we're buying the outdoor shooting range in Crestwood, and that we intend to move the police station there sometime in the next 6 months. It's going to be an excellent building, and I think it'll serve the public well, serve our police department well, serve all our law enforcement in Oldham County and the region well, since it has shooting practice facilities inside the building for both pistols and rifles. So we're happy to be able to do that, and I think it's a good use of public money. And we'll be freeing up 2 buildings in the Buckner, which we'll discuss later about what we may do with those buildings. I would like to just welcome an individual here today. Tim Sturgill, Chief Counsel for the Kentucky Association of Counties, is with us. Tim, I think we're happy to have you address the court if you have anything you'd like to share. Obviously, we have to come forward to the microphone, and we want everybody to see your Christmas beard. You got a good one there.
Thank you, Judge, members of the court. It's a pleasure to be here. We're just kind of out visiting all the fiscal courts, as many as we can this year. And I live next door in Shelby, so I thought I'd make the easy drive over here to LaGrange and visit with you all. So don't have anything to add or anything kind of business. We just wanted to stop by and say hello.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Tim, welcome. We appreciate our association and participation in the Kentucky Association of Counties. Staff provides good services to all the counties in Kentucky, and we take advantage of the resources there on a frequent basis. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Judge.
This is our normal public comment time. Has anybody come in who would like to address the court? Certainly happy to have you do so. Amy Elvey, County Clerk.
Good afternoon, Judge, members of the court. Amy Alvey, Oldham County Clerk, almost at Oldham County Planning and Zoning. Bringing back memories here. I just wanted to remind everyone, as well as the public, regarding our office closures and limited functionality of our office regarding motor vehicle. Just a reminder that we will not be able to do any motor vehicle transactions, renewals, transfers, duplicate titles. It also includes handicap placards. So if all of that is run through the same system. So just wanted to remind everyone that is December 30th through January 9th. We are scheduled to open back up to the public full-time on January the 10th and be able to do all of our regular motor vehicle transactions, renewals, duplicate titles, all of that good stuff. We will be open from 8 a.m. to noon, January 3rd through the 9th, so anybody can come into the office to be able to do anything in our recordings department. So whether it's to file deeds, file less pendances, anything of that nature, get a marriage license. Our voter registration department will also be open, so anyone that is going to be filing for any offices to run in 2024. That includes city council and school boards that will file here locally. They need to be at our office before January 5th. So that is the filing deadline for that. And again, we are planned to open back up on January the 10th, regular hours. Fingers crossed that the system is working and we are able to process motor vehicle transactions. But I just ask the members of court to please share this on your social media, or if you have email distribution lists, anything of that nature. I can get you the PDFs of the documents, but I do ask you to please share as much as you can. We haven't had a whole lot of pushback from the public on it because it's pretty much out of our hands. And we're going to do everything we can to provide a prompt service once we are back up and running. So that's all I have.
Judge, I have a question. Did you say the filing deadline, January 5th, for what offices again?
That would file in our office. That is city councils. So like LaGrange City Council, depends on how many file, whether there be a primary or not.
I thought I heard you say school board, but I thought those were in June.
I'll have to double check because I know that she has to file again to run this year, even though she just was appointed. That might be in June for November. I'll double check on that. But circuit clerk, there has been a filing for that. There has been a filing for the school board already. And then Commonwealth Attorney, but that is filed in Frankfurt, not through our office. But that there has been a filing for that. But we will. We're trying to get out to the city councils to let them know that we are having limited hours, most likely on the January the 5th, which is, I believe, a Friday. Our voter registration department will stay open until 4 o'clock because by statute, they have to file by 4 p.m. So we don't want to shortchange anybody and not give them their full opportunity to file their paperwork. So voter registration department most likely will stay open till 4 o'clock on that day, just to make sure that we follow the requirements of KRSs. That's all I have.
All right, thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Anyone else to address public comment? Seeing no one, I'll close public comment. Go on. The first item on the agenda today is to pay the bills. When someone's ready, we'll have a motion to pay our bills.
I'll make the motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Are there any questions about the bills today? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have our county treasurer, Pat Metter, is here to discuss some budget transfers.
Good afternoon, Judge, members of the court. The October month end requires approvals of 8 budget transfers by the court. I ask for your approval of these budget transfers totaling $7,815,895.91.
Judge, I'll make the motion that we approve the budget transfers.
Second.
All right, are there any discussions about the budget transfers? All right, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Very
Thank you,
good,
Pat.
thank you.
Now we're at the first reading of our budget amendment for 23-24. Stan Clark, County CFO.
Okay, the budget amendment is simply, we did not plan to be purchasing the real estate in Crestwood. That's unbudgeted. So this is amending the budget to show that we know it's going to be the purchase price plus some remodeling, putting in offices and stuff. We, at this time, don't know how much that will be, but to get the project, to pay for the project this week, to purchase real estate and to start some of the work, we threw out a budget of $4 million coming in the to balance the budget, we're going to be taking ARPA funds, mainly considered what they call lost revenue. What that means is we have committed our ARPA funds to a couple projects, and we have some that were uncommitted. So we just now transferred the reserve for transfer of ARPA funds into a lost revenue account. We are allowed to the county to take up to $10 million of ARPA funds and declare it lost revenue, and then use it for general government services, approved budgeted expenses. So that's where the source is coming from. So we basically are taking some ARPA funds, considered lost revenue, as a revenue to offset the expense of purchasing the building and starting to make improvements.
All right, so this is the first reading or announcement of our intention to do that. We'll come back in 30 days, and is that right, or at the next meeting?
Okay, thank you.
And when are we going to come back on that? 30 days or the next meeting? It's got to be in the paper, I know that.
Yeah, you first thing is you sign it, I'll send it to DLG for their approval, and then once I get DLG's approval, then I have to advertise it a minimum of 7 days.
Okay.
So then I'll bring it back.
All right. We'll see how fast it goes, but all right. Thank you. Now we have the lease agreement with the LaGrange Christian Church. Kevin is going to go through that with us.
Good afternoon. We've had a lease agreement with LaGrange Christian Church for the parking lot since 2001 when John Black was county judge. They asked for an amendment to this lease, and basically the original lease, which you have a copy of, shows that it was to be renewed but, for a certain amount of time, and then it just kind of stopped. So they've asked for it just to be renewed automatically. So because it was such an old lease, we were advised to go ahead and just get a new lease signed. So all the terms and conditions are exactly the same, except for on page 2 of the new lease. It says that the lease will automatically renew every year and will not have an expiration date. So we're just trying to clean up the paperwork a little bit, get them a new lease for their purposes, but all the other terms and conditions remain the same.
Manager Jeffries.
Would it be appropriate for a motion? I'd like to discuss one thing.
All right, make a motion.
I'll move that we approve the updated lease agreement with LaGrange Christian Church as presented by Kevin Nuss.
Second.
Discussion. Manager Jeffries.
Yes, just one little minor thing. On the first page, we're leasing an agreement on the 4th paragraph down. It just says, whereas the leasor's lot on Madison Street is dose, it should be close to the, and then there's a period there that period should be removed, and that fiscal is capitalized. So just a minor correction, but just to make sure that is correct.
That's what happens when you try to change a PDF document into a Word document
Right.
and don't read it close enough. So I apologize for that. I will get that fixed before we have Judge sign it.
Okay. That's all I have, sir.
Tara, make a note.
Anyone else? All right, we have a good relationship with our neighbor next door. For those who may not know, the majority of our parking lot is owned by the Christian Church, and we keep it up, pave it, and they're nice enough to let us use it. Fiscal court property behind the building actually extends to about the edge of the dumpster, so we're landlocked in a certain way there at this point. Someday in the future, we may not be. By the time the courthouse is completed, we may have some other plans, but those are yet to be discussed. So, all right, we've got a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right, committee report, road committee, going to release a soil and erosion bond here.
Good afternoon, Jim Silliman, County Engineer. What you have before you is a recommendation to release the erosion control surety for the Commons of Cedar Point Section 2 subdivision. Based on our recent inspections, Engineering Department has determined that this subdivision section has been built in accordance with the plans that were approved by our office and current regulations. So we're recommending the fiscal court release the bond in the amount of $51,600.
Make that motion.
I'll second that.
Discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Just a minute, Jim.
Yes, sir.
I'll throw you a curve here.
Okay.
Jim has, picked up some additional information from KYTC about the bridge projects at 393 and Allen Lane. I'd appreciate it if you share with the court what we know at this point.
Yeah, so at a recent meeting with KYTC regarding the Allen Lane project, which is a project to realign Allen Lane from Commerce Parkway to Kentucky Highway 146. And the intent would be like you're probably familiar with the 393 realignment project, which will have a underpass going under a new railroad bridge. Allen Lane will do the same thing. So the anticipated dates have basically, I'll say, been flip-flopped. We had anticipated 393 to go first. Based on the amount of utilities involved in the 393 project, and you've probably seen that the gas company's been boring for their new line associated with that. Well, because of the utility involvement, it looks like they're going to be able to do Allen Lane first. So the current construction letting date for Allen Lane, the target date is fall 2024. With the 393 project, the target letting date is summer 2025. Again, we had expected those to be reversed, but I think it's good that they're still both advancing, just in a different order.
Did you say completion dates?
No, that's the construction letting date.
Excuse me, that's I just was dreaming a little bit.
Each of them would probably have a season and a half or two of construction.
Jim,
You'll probably be here to see the completion, Wayne.
I'm not sure, I was counting the dates when you said that. Thank you, Judge.
Right, they're going to start the next
Start.
start in 24 and 25.
Just a question on 393. It looks like the gas line is it completed? It's not completed yet. Is that correct on the relocation?
I mean, there's still bore pits and active construction going on, so I don't think so.
Okay. So they have moved a lot of the electric, and have they done anything with water yet, water lines?
I'm not sure. I'd have to check.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Magistrate Hawkins.
would you elaborate for those that don't know about Allen Lane realignment? That's the railroad tracks will be affected there.
Yes.
And can you just give a brief overview of what that looks like for those that live in that area?
Well, I mean, so at both projects, there will be a realignment of the railroad tracks for construction and temporary tracks and overpass being built to actually build the project. But ultimately, the finished product is that Allen Lane and 393 will go under the railroad and reconnect to 146 on the other side. In the case of the 393 project, of course, there's a bit of a realignment with 146 itself to have the grades connect, one come up and one come down some. And then 393 will actually extend beyond 146 and reconnect to the existing 393 around where the John Black Center is.
Right, and I assume that the extension of 393 underneath the railroad, when it passes underneath the railroad track, is going to actually work its way back up to the surface, because it's got to get on top of the gas lines that have been.
That's correct.
Put in there,
That
right?
will start working its way back up, and I believe 146 comes down slightly, and then 393 continues on.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
One other question while Jim's here. The 329 or construction that they're, I guess, going to blast and remove that one rock wall on the old part of 329 there at Crestwood. Could you just elaborate a little bit on this, where they are on that? What's status?
Construction has started at the traffic signal at 329B and 329, and that does include removal of some of the rock wall on the east side to improve sight distance.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you,
You're
Jim.
welcome.
All right, next item here, we're moving pretty fast today. We might be finished, normally, a couple meetings back, we went till about 6 o'clock, but today we're going to go to about 2:35. So how about animal control? We've got some personnel actions here. got a resignation of Danielle Ashcraft, so we wish her well. Thank you for working with us. We have an appointment to the Oldham County Water District. I'd like to reappoint two different people there. They are both experienced with the Water District. Attorney Jody Curry for a term to expire December 31st of 2027. And the other person is to reappoint to actually his own term. He was a sub on someone who retired, and this would be Builder Ron Funk to a term that would expire December 31st, 2027. So I'll make those motions for those appointments.
Second.
All right. For both? Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there any discussion on these? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. All right, did anyone come in who wanted to make a public comment? We have one at the beginning and one at the end. Tim, you're lucky enough to come today to a record-setting meeting as far as...
Glad I missed that last one.
Right. You're out for the afternoon, but at the end of the year, most of our meeting business is wound up. We might spend a couple $1 million between now and, the end of the year, but we're pretty well done.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
I don't know if now's the appropriate time or later, but we need to talk about the first January meeting date.
All right, I think it's a good time.
So we got a couple of things. In speaking with the sheriff and the clerk, they both need to have their budgets approved by us by January the 15th, and unfortunately, our second meeting falls on January the 16th, so that causes a little bit of an issue. And then the time frame between our last meeting, the 19th, and if we were to go all the way to the 16th, is too long of a time frame to not have a meeting just to pay bills. So my suggestion is we pick whatever is convenient for the court, if we do the 4th or the 5th maybe. And that way we can pay bills and approve the sheriff and the clerk's.
Why don't we do it
Statutory
on
account.
Tuesday, January 2, when we'll be here anyway?
We won't, well, the problem is that that's the day, that's the holiday.
A holiday.
The 2nd's the holiday.
Isn't Monday the
Oh,
holiday, the
the
1st?
first would be the holiday. You're right, yes, sorry.
My kids go back to school on Tuesday, the 2nd. So I'm just saying, I don't think that's a holiday. It's a county holiday this year. The 2nd? From the 1st?
I think she's talking about just county employees.
Okay, so I thought they were both holidays. Okay, so 2nd being a county holiday, my suggestion would be we pick the 4th or the 5th. Probably the accounting folks would have more preference to the 5th so that they can get things done if some of them are trying to use vacation between Christmas and New Year's.
All right, Treasurer Pat Metter, do you have a preference on, well, let's just make it 3rd, 4th, or 5th, the last Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday of...
Judge, you're putting the pressure on me today.
We'll pick what we want, we'll just ask you what your opinion
No,
is.
I appreciate that, the input. I think Magistrate Hounds is on to the 5th is a Friday, but that would give some sufficient time coming off the holidays to get the payables ready and get them ready for 4th or 5th, whatever you choose. Either one of those 2 days would be better than the 3rd, I would say. 3rd's probably my least favorite.
All right, well, I personally think the 4th is a little better, it gives us one day to correct something.
We don't
Yeah.
make mistakes, Judge.
Actually, Judge, the 4th would be good because if we would have payables approved, and the 5th would give Stan Clark and I an opportunity
Right,
to
give
sign
them a
off.
chance to sign them.
Thank you for thinking about us.
Okay, all right.
So the 4th, Judge?
Right.
Same
you want-
time, 2 in the afternoon
Pardon?
again? 2 PM again on the 4th?
Yes, I'd say 2 PM on the 4th.
Will our committee meetings move to that day as well,
If we so choose.
Judge?
Committees can decide if they want to meet on the 4th or if they want to let it go for that month. But,
Okay.
It's public safety, the economic development, recycling,
We don't meet until.
animal control, building committee. I mean, there's several things going on, but I'd say let's pick the date, and the committee chairman can tell us if you want to have a meeting on the 4th.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to move our January 2nd meeting to January 4th,
I'll second it for 2 o'clock.
right, 2 o'clock. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Point of order, Judge. When we made a comment about the county holiday, was that was just for the county employees, wasn't it?
Yes.
I didn't want you to get 14 phone calls saying, how can he change the holiday at some other entity?
No.
It didn't come out that way when it
Right,
said.
it's just January 1 is a public holiday, January 2nd's a holiday for county employees.
Oldham County
Right.
employees. Okay.
Others may be doing things, it's just county
I mean,
government.
maybe the school teachers thought you were letting them off that day.
Well, it's up to the Board of Education. All right. A lot of our people travel, may not be able to be back till late, Sunday night or Monday night or whatever, so,
I'll try to be back by the 4th.
yeah, huh? You'll be what?
I'll try to be back by the 4th of January.
Good thinking.
All right, we have some final comments here today. Magistrate Tice?
I don't have much to say. One of the things that I do myself, and that's give blood. And I would like to just say something about that. I think it's worthwhile for all of us that are able to. You see the need for it all the time. So if you can, I think it's something you ought to try to work into your schedule. And I just wanted to bring that forward. It's been something I've been thinking about for a while, but just wanted to make sure I brought it forward. Thank you. That's all.
Magistrate Woosley?
Judge, I just want to mention 3 events that the parks are having that's upcoming. This Saturday, December 9th, from 9 to 11 is Breakfast with Santa at the John Black Center. We also have letters from Santa. If you want to have Santa send your child a letter, those requests are due by December 15th, and you can sign up on the park's website for that. And finally, the father-daughter dance. We're having them Friday and Saturday, January 26th and 27th. And you can also sign up for that on the website. And finally, last night I had the pleasure of speaking to Cub Scout Pack 35 and Troop 200. There was about 25 or so kids in there, and they're studying local government. And we were just talking about what it's like to be a magistrate and being on fiscal court. So just wanted to thank them for that opportunity. That's all I have, Judge.
Great, thank you. Magistrate Jeffries?
Yes, just one thing, Judge. This past Saturday night, the LaGrange had their Light Up LaGrange, and I think it was a rounding success. From what I understand, they had a huge crowd, and I think the weather was good. And so I appreciate everybody that came out for that or whatever, because I think it turned out to be, and they honored Sergeant Wilt that was wounded back at the shooting earlier in the year, and so he got to ride in one of the fire trucks. And so anyway, it was a really nice night, and just wanted to thank everybody that came out and supported that.
All right, thank you. Magistrate the Hounds?
Thank you, Judge. The city of Pee Wee Valley had their Yule log kind of light up, their version of Light Up LaGrange, but call it Yule log at Pee Wee Valley on Sunday, and it was also well attended. I think that people want to get out now, and with the weather being nice, pictures I saw of LaGrange was packed, and I was at the Pee Wee Valley event, and it was also packed. Just a couple things, we are in the Christmas tree season. If you have it can be a live tree or an artificial tree, but most of the live trees, make sure you keep those watered, and make sure you keep all heat sources away from those trees, because with a little bit of heat in the wrong environment, then they can be a dangerous mixture there for a house fire. The other thing is we talked about this a couple weeks ago, and I've got a couple of canned goods that I went and picked up at our local grocery stores. Like to do the food drive again this year, and those people remember last year, some do, some don't, we had green beans and corn lined up all the way through from one end to the other, and it was a pretty cool picture, I think. And I did catch some flack because it was all just green beans and corn. I don't eat peas, so therefore I don't buy peas, but if somebody wanted to donate peas, that would be fine, or whatever else comes in a can that we can line up all the way through here. So again, for the magistrates, I know some of them asked if I would be kind enough to purchase cans for them if they gave me money, and sure, I'll be happy to, because I seem to be at Kroger's or Walmart at least on a once-a-week basis for the family. So I know that Tina Schaaf's going to send out an email about the food drive in the next day or so we can hopefully load up another truck full of stuff and take it to the food banks. Thank you.
Great, thank you for that idea. Magistrate Hawkins.
I wanted to kind of ask Chris something too. So is this local Oldham County food banks?
Yes.
And I think another thing we could donate to is toiletries, because the EBT cards do not pay for toiletries. So that might be, if you're at the store and you see a pack of diapers or toilet paper, that might be a good thing to also want to donate. It's just a suggestion.
Okay.
Would that be okay? Are you willing to carry? Toilet paper is lighter than green beans.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. I wanted to bring up Centerfield Drive. That's kind of been a hot topic lately with the traffic there, and the center line striping is fading. And I just wanted to ensure those in that area that we're working on that. The county engineer is on top of that. And so to just reassure that we are working on that, probably going to correct some things in that area in the springtime. And then I also wanted to mention a day that doesn't get a whole lot of fanfare, and that's Pearl Harbor Day, which is December 7th, when 2,403 Americans were attacked and killed. And so if you think about it, on December 7th, remember some of your specifically older veterans, if you can. That's all I have today, Judge.
All right, Magistrate Dye.
Thank you, Judge. With the advent of the Christmas purchasing season, everybody is even more so using Amazon, and of course, they have their own delivery trucks, and then of course FedEx and UPS and the Postal Service. In and around my district, I see these trucks. A lot of the trucks at this time of year they're just neutralized trucks. They've got a little piece of cardboard on the side says, lease to UPS or lease to somebody else. And they're just moving around the neighborhood and delivering packages to people's front doors and stuff. Don't be comforted by that, because some of those people in those vans are going up and they're not delivering, they're picking up. And those are known as porch pirates. Now, if you've got something that you want to get for your little ones or even your big ones, and you want to actually have it for Christmas Day, if you're not going to be home, make arrangements with one of your neighbors to pick up your packages. Sometimes you can have this stuff sent directly to the retailer and you can pick it up there. It kind of defeats the whole idea of home delivery. And the other thing is, when you're out in the parking lots, please lock your cars. Keep your gifts and stuff hidden. You want to have a Merry Christmas. I mean, it's and safeguard your stuff. As I always say, put your junk in your trunk. But some of y'all, you probably need 2 or 3 big trunks. I don't know, but play it smart. Don't play into anyone's hands. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Couple of things today. We have Tate Combs here as our legal counsel. Welcome, and thank you for being here. Tate is here because Barry Baxter is somewhere in Europe competing in some type of Ironman event. I believe he completed the 16-hour event of swim, run, bike, and maybe something else. I don't know what it was, but he's into it pretty deep, and he successfully completed the course. So congratulations to Barry. He'll probably be back here about the 4th of January, something like that. He might I don't have enough energy to.
I thought it was South America, Judge. South America, Patagonia?
Okay, I thought, well, that shows you how much geography I know. I thought he's in France, but
It was in Chile.
went to South America. Okay, well, I don't ever leave Oldham County, actually. I like it right here.
That's a good thing.
If you do leave the county on the 12th there, a week from today, the governor's inaugural parade begins at 11 o'clock in Frankfurt. Swearing-in ceremony for Governor Bashir will be at 2 p.m. We congratulate the governor on his reelection and wish him well during his next four-year term. We'll continue to work closely with him for the benefit of Oldham County. I'd like to announce that everybody here is invited to a birthday party next year. On December 15th, 1823, the legislature declared Oldham a county effective February 15th, 1824. And so I've organized a bicentennial committee, and we're going to be, over the course of the next year, having some events to recognize the history and beauty of our county. We had a meeting yesterday. We had a lot of ideas come forward. So we encourage everyone here to be willing to participate in our bicentennial events, share ideas you might have. It's open to everyone, and everyone's invited. So our history goes back a long way, and we have a proud heritage here, and we'll be able to share it. Oldham County was carved out of Shelby, Henry, and Jefferson County in 1824. Trimble County was actually part of Oldham County at that time, and then later split off into a separate county on its own. But we're happy to have a party, and we're going to try to make it as good as we can. So everyone is invited. And the I-71 ramps are, we're told, going to open sometime in the middle of the month. It appears that most of the guardrail is in. It's going to be a big addition, and when the Allen Lane underpass goes through from 146, you can imagine how many people are going to be going down Allen Lane and getting on I-71 instead of traveling through downtown LaGrange. So that's going to be a really good opportunity for bypassing the city if you're actually moving north or south on, principally south though, on the 71. So otherwise, they tell us that the I-71, the entire completion out to LaGrange, the widening is not scheduled to be complete until 2029. So we've got a ways to go yet on that, but we're agitating to try to get it moved forward. With that, is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.